Tonight on Justice, Congresswoman Gabby Giffords is, quote, doing great in a rehab facility in Texas, while more members of Congress announced they plan to carry guns. The issue is even making its way onto college campuses. We'll talk to one lawmaker who thinks co-ed should carry, and then
a 20-year-old gets life in prison without parole for loaning a car to his roommate.
why isn't it fair?
I didn't do anything.
It's a justice investigation. Plus, she won $190 million in the lottery. But will she have to split it with her abusive ex-con husband? And
You just said bye and she was gone.
Christy Cornwell was abducted, but there was a witness on the phone. He'll be in the studio to tell us what he heard. Coming up tonight on Justice.
Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. In the aftermath of the shooting in Tucson, more states are considering giving people the right to carry concealed weapons, even on college campuses. Texas is considering such a law, and the measure, as you would expect, has ignited a tremendous amount of controversy. Texas State Senator Jeff Wentworth is one of the co-sponsors of the bill. He joins me now from San Antonio. Senator, thanks for being with us. Why do you think students and professors need to have weapons on college campuses?
For self-defense. The current situation is that it's illegal to carry, even people with licenses to carry concealed weapons are not allowed in classroom buildings, and that's where, for instance, in the Virginia Tech massacre, you had a deranged person who was suicidal, apparently, and wanted to take out as many people as he could. As mentally deranged as they are, they're not entirely stupid, and they know that college campus classroom buildings are gun-free zones.
Well,
so innocent victims are not able to defend themselves. They're killed like sitting ducks.
And Senator, how does it play out? I mean, what happens? Everybody pulls out their gun at the same time? I mean, how do you envision this playing out?
No, for one thing, in Texas, you have to be at least 21 years of age to get a license. So the traditional freshman, sophomore, and junior students are 17, 18, 19, and 20 years old, so they won't be able to have a license at all. We're talking about faculty members, staff members, graduate students, some seniors.
Right. But Senator, if someone walks into the room with a gun, what happens?
I have no idea. What's your hypothetical?
Well, I guess the issue is really people in the crossfire. I mean, if the police show up, how do they know who the good guy and the bad guy is?
Well, that's an argument that's raised all the time. We've actually, this is not in reaction to anything that happened in Tucson. This bill already passed the Texas Senate in 2009. It would have passed the House. We had 75 of the 150 members of the House signed on to the bill, but it got lost in the logjam at the end of the session 2 years ago. I've already got 14 out of the 31 senators as co-authors of this bill. This is not a new idea or anything in reaction to Tucson. It's a desire to protect people.
There's no question it's a desire to protect people. But in light of what's just happened in Arizona, do you think you'll have a better chance of getting this law passed in Texas now?
I think we'll pass it as we did 2 years ago without any reference to Tucson at all.
Okay.
I mean, you mentioned when the police come. It reminds me of the old saying, when seconds count, the police are only minutes away.
Well, there's no question about that, Senator. It's a difficult issue, and everyone is interested in safety for the students on the campuses. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. The issue is very simple. Should college kids handle guns? We have both sides joining us now. David Burnett is president of the group Students for Concealed Carry on Campus, and Andy Pelosi is the executive director of Campaign to Keep Guns Off Campus. And Howard Safer, the former police commissioner of the city of New York, he's now CEO of VRI Technologies, and I imagine he has an opinion or two on the topic. But David, I'm going to start with you. Why do you think we need to arm kids on college campuses?
Well, we're not talking about changing who can carry. We already have a process in place in the state of Texas, as well as most other states, that allows someone who is over the age of 21, who has gone through training that includes live fire exercises as well as written exams and a comprehensive background check, to carry a concealed weapon. We're talking about saying those who have the permits should be allowed to carry on a college campus just like they do elsewhere.
But right now the law in most states is that you can't have it on a college campus. Supreme Court says they can limit where people who legally have guns can carry them. Why do you think a schoolroom is the place, a college student room?
Why is it any different, though?
Andy, why is it? Is this a good idea?
I think it's a bad idea. I think, for the most part, college campuses are very safe environments. Homicide rates, 1 out of 1 million college students killed.
But I mean, what do you say to the parents of the kids at Virginia Tech that it's safe? I mean, that doesn't fly, given what we've seen, Columbine. And we're not talking about high school, we're talking about college.
I think that, for the most part, college environments are safe. You've got risk factors at play here. Alcohol, drugs. Do we really want to be introducing guns into that environment? Let's look at other ways, maybe better campus policing, better security measures, before we turn all the way to...
Senator just said, you know what, it just takes seconds. I mean, bullets every second can come out of a gun. If police are minutes away, you know, isn't the life of those students in danger?
Yeah,
I mean...
College can never guarantee the safety of its students. Until they set up a secure environment that's as secure as a courthouse or an airport, they can never secure it. And until they can guarantee my safety, they should not deprive me or any other student
what do you
of the right
say
to
about
defend
what
themselves.
Andy said? Look, college campuses, these kids are, you know, a lot of them are drinking.
You know,
they're trying to stress level high exams and jobs and all that.
Was it any different on campus versus off campus? Again, these people already have permits. How is it that they become irresponsible the moment they cross that invisible boundary?
Are they equipped to deal with it like a cop?
The state already says so. The state already says they already trust somebody to carry a concealed weapon, to react in a situation.
Some states, you don't even have to prove that you are qualified.
Well,
you just get it automatically.
Take it up with the state legislatures in those states.
That's a good point, Judge. In Virginia, for example, there's no live fire. I mean, it varies from state to state. In terms of training for carry concealed. I mean, this is an issue. We don't have a lot of crime right now. Why are we now going to introduce guns on campuses around the country?
9 sexual assaults on college campuses every day, the statistics tell us. Now, I'm not going to contest the idea that college campuses as a whole are safer than perhaps the streets of New York or the streets of the city, but these campuses are nestled within the streets of that city. And for those victims, or for the victims of someone like the Tucson shooter or the Virginia Tech shooting, Northern Illinois University, a dozen other college shootings in the past several years that we've seen, why are we going to deprive a law-abiding citizen of the ability to defend themselves?
And you know what? I think we need to make clear to our viewer, there's no question. The United States Supreme Court says the Second Amendment guarantees an individual the right to bear arms. It's not about the militia, but the question is where.
In their home, though.
The question is where, right,
In
Andy?
the home. And what Justice Scalia said, that in sensitive places like schools, you know, prohibitions could stand. I'm paraphrasing, of course. So that's the Supreme Court.
And you know what? I have to, for fairness reasons, I want you both to know that I have several handguns. I have shotguns. I have them for self-defense. If someone comes into my home, I'm going to use them. Commissioner Safer, how do you, where do you fall on this issue? Should they have guns on college campuses in the student classrooms now?
Well, my instinct, of course, is that only law enforcement officers should have guns. But the reality is, after, you know, District of Columbia versus Heller, it's pretty clear the Supreme Court is going to let people carry guns. The question is not where, as far as I'm concerned, it's how. How does a guy like Lochner, with 4 or 5 psychiatric incidents prior to the Tucson incident, you know, should he have a gun? Should the 40% of the students who admit to smoking marijuana on college campuses, should they have guns? I think what we have to do is put some responsibility on gun owners. And this is where the NRA and I part ways. I believe there should be not only training and requirements for permits, but I also believe that guns should be safety inspected once a year to make sure that that owner who bought the gun still has it and it hasn't been diverted to a criminal.
But the problem, Commissioner, the problem is that there are states that allow for concealed carries with little, if any, additional requirements. You're over the age of 21, you can carry a concealed gun. So that's not illegal. The question is, should these people who don't have the training of a police officer, who don't have the ability, you know, to know how they're going to act in times of stress, should they be allowed to have these guns in classrooms?
Now, untrained people should not be carrying guns, and certainly I believe that every gun should be insured the way a motor vehicle is insured. I have to take responsibility for a 5,000-pound SUV I'm driving. Somebody who has a gun should have that same responsibility.
Andy, last word on this?
I would say if a parent of a college-age student, do you want to add to your checklist, does University X allow guns on campus?
Well, you know, what do you say to that, David?
They already carry. What happened in Tucson was definitely a tragedy, but this is a guy who had prior mental health issues that no one reported on.
All right.
And then they want to blame the guns.
We got to end it there. You know what? Now the question is, does everybody carry guns? I mean, you know, soccer moms on the soccer field? Up